So maybe I can talk to you about a couple of minor things I should be just like really, really screaming at her for. Um,
Why don't you give, so first of all, just give me a little update on of any changes that have taken place since we last spoke.
um, yeah, like I know I talked to you last week about like my panic attacks and
Mhm.
stuff, and you were really good. I'm really happy about like the way you talk about non-Western philosophy makes me want to read more,
Mm,
which is different than my sister who's just kind of like an idiot talking out of her ass, which is why I've always kind of like viewed astrology the way that. But when you talk about it, it seems to be like a lot more organized and like coherent. Okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna keep meeting with you, but this crazy man in my life, and I don't want to tell you whose kid he is, but he's not motivated to back off. Like I was having those panic attacks where he came to me on Easter, and some of the stuff you did last week. I know you said that I'm going to start getting like, like little mental buzzes or something like that, and just things are they're starting to like, like that clarity starts to come through. So like I
Yeah.
can't say like quite how I felt when that happened,
Uh-huh.
but it has been happening. And the reason he came after me on Easter, this is someone who would have attacked me as a neo-Nazi, um, going back years and years and years and years. And because I'm Jewish, like I'm not like I don't go to temple or anything. I haven't been to like temple since I've been in sixth grade. But because like I'm Jewish on paper or something, like he thinks he can like he calls me Jesus Christ, like I'm sitting there feeding the pigeons like, like outside like a bus stop or something like that. And I love the pigeons because I've never had pigeons and I don't know if you've had pigeons in San Francisco.
Well, yeah, oh
But
yeah, we had
pigeons
we had
are a
a
thing in
we
Chicago.
had I had a lot of pigeons in New York, and a lot in New York.
And their pigeons are good people. And I love them and they will come up and do like funny things in front of you. People they do funny things in front of people they like.
Very friendly, yeah.
You'll feed them, yeah, if you'll feed them, they'll come and sit on your like knee or something like that, and you give them like a nut or something. And then anyway, he said Jesus Christ had a pet turkey. He thinks the pigeons are baby turkeys. They're doves. They might look like baby turkeys,
Can
but
can
they're
I can I ask you a quick question?
sure.
Is he speaking to you? Are you interacting with him in some way or conversation at all?
You ever heard of Neuralink?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Can I just disclose his father to you without expecting you to take it out on me and even understanding that 2 months from now I'm going to have to go back and like
Totally.
re-analyze the
Whatever.
conversation now? It's Elon Musk's son. And I really don't know why these people are in my life. There's like things I'm going through with my therapist, which kind of like or hypotheses like why does someone like that, like attack you? Like it's apparent to me because of who he is and the resources he has, why I've had to go through things this way, you know? Like,
What I'm just trying to
like
understand.
why me? Like
Just
why me? Why was I the one that he chose to do this to? Like
I'm really trying to understand something different. I'm trying to understand what is that the dynamic at the present time between this person and you. Are you having any communication with each other? Are you
um,
interacting in any way? That's
in
just a
person,
basic question.
body to like physical body to body. It's just kind of like glaring. Let me put something into the chat. And I hope
Okay, okay.
you take this
All right,
thoughtfully.
okay. Okay.
Because,
I don't really care if it's interaction by a remote
I
conversation.
know I don't know
Doesn't
who
matter.
fits into my circle. I know people talk and stuff like that. I don't know if
Oh
you're
yeah,
one
yeah.
of those
No
or whatever.
worries, no
Like,
worries.
okay,
It's
okay.
fine. That's fine.
Let me do a couple of things.
Sure,
And
sure,
I
sure.
hope you take this to heart without judging me, like on the surface of it. Like I hope you really go and read about this.
I don't judge. I really,
Okay, okay.
truly, I don't really judge anything. I take things on face value, whatever they are. I don't, yeah, I don't do judgment. It's just it's not a productive, it's not a useful or productive thing.
Yeah. Okay. So if you turn out to be like another psycho in my life, I'm just not going to be surprised. But I hope that I'm able to keep talking. No, because I felt so good talking to you last week. I feel like you kind of came into my life for the right reasons.
Good.
I hope that we can keep having positive interactions, but I'm gonna tell you some stuff that makes it turns a lot of people off and turns a lot of people against me. And I
Okay.
hope that doesn't do that to you, but if it does, it's not personal. I get that. But
No,
like my idea is if it really affects you that way, like if you're that
no, 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 no.
you
You
love
don't
something
need to be any
that way, and
concern,
then
no
just
concern about that.
like have the decency to just kind of like give me a hint right up front and just cut off,
Can I just pause you for just a second? Because I want to understand when we spoke last week, and you told me about the panic attacks, it seemed like
yeah.
they were pretty consistent, constant, and they were rather sort of overwhelming you. And I'm just wanting to understand, is it the same now, a week later, as it was then, or has there been some change?
It's not really as bad. It's gotten better over time.
Okay, it's gotten better. Okay, let me read what you wrote here. Okay, and what is the connection between
Okay, there's
Elon
another
Musk?
message that's for effect you can actually look up on Google, and Google's AI will give you a hint. Like,
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, but no
there are
Neuralink.
ways of interfering with the human brain, like through
Yeah,
waves. Like people say, like you're on your wavelength or something. Like they connect
yeah,
with
yeah.
you
No,
on your
I
wavelength.
understand. I understand. I've tracked
Yeah,
some of
like
that,
he is a
not the
sick,
details, but I've
sick,
tracked some
screwed
of
up,
that. Yeah.
sadistic little boy. And I'm trying to live my life as best as I can, even though, like, as you have like kind of projected, and I kind of accept as well. I kind of like take what you said last week the same way, which is my life is kind of changing trajectories. Like I started off as this like technical genius, like a prodigy, and I can do anything in math, I can do anything in software. And so, what do? You go get a PhD, and then life falls through for reasons that
Okay,
it shouldn't have. So my life is going to take a very different trajectory.
that's true. I think that's pretty clear.
I just want to say, like I have some really like I don't know if you knew this. I don't think I've disclosed this to you, but I'm also a famous computer hacker. A lot of people don't know what my face looks like because I often use my cat as an avatar.
Right.
So a
Well,
lot of people wouldn't
I'm not
recognize
surprised.
me on the street, but I have some really good hacker friends. So my friends, kind of like ham radio friends, hacker friends from New York, dropped me off in Hyde Park at Obama's doorstep. They kind of helped me get to the women's shelter I'm staying at. They also helped me get over to that library, and it's sort of like I just sort of talk. Like sometimes I just talk out loud. I'm
Okay,
talking mostly to my cat,
okay,
whose
okay,
ghost I've seen a couple of times. But like, no, no, no. Anyway, I got a personal invite to go. There's a big opening of the next Chicago Public Library is going to be at Obama's Presidential Center in Chicago, and they're going to do it on Juneteenth. And I got a personal invite to go over there that day. They said I should be over there that day. That's really important.
and what's going to happen? What is the event?
I'm just going to go to the opening and kind of like I've been hanging out at a public library for the last like 2 or 3 years.
An opening of a new, is it opening of a new public library or?
Obama's presidential center. This is Obama's CPL.
Okay, if he's not in jail at that time, then it might.
Obama's not in jail?
No, if Obama is in jail by that time, that will not be a
What
good,
did Trump? What,
that
no,
will
okay,
be
no,
not
no, you
good.
told me about this. What did Trump do? I knew about their like rumors about
No,
Michelle and
there is a, oh, okay, just let me, give me a second just to say something, okay? There is a high probability, and I'm not saying this, I don't have any inside knowledge that that isn't available. Like I'm talking about what's generally known or generally available in
You're
the
talking
world.
about
There's a
Fox News,
high.
or are you talking out of your ass? That's kind of
No,
the
no, 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 no,
talking
no,
about Fox
no,
News.
no, no,
Okay.
no. Just let hear me out for a second. There is a high probability, I'm just going to say it. I could be incorrect on this, but I'm going to just say it. There is a high probability that at some point in the not too distant future, that there will be an arrest and an indictment of Obama for what he did. Okay, if you don't know that, or you're not familiar with it, or you don't understand why, or
He
what the
did an
basis of it,
investigation
it's
while he was
all
under office of Trump, like
the
doing.
whole Russia collusion hoax, which was orchestrated by Cam, which was generated. There were many, many people involved. It was a big thing, but Obama was at the center of the hoax. He was
But
a
you at the
king,
center of
a
the hoax, and
kingpin.
you say hoax, and you include hoax, so that's important.
Yeah, yeah,
But no, like
yeah,
you're
of
talking about
course.
like John Roberts, who was one of Reagan's Supreme Court justices, like in the way he views presidential power. Like, oh, like Trump wants to pardon himself for January 6th. Like I was an FBI informant about January 6th and being in proximity to these men.
To
Um,
another hoax.
again, for reasons for like people and connections I haven't disclosed to you like openly. Maybe you know about them anyway, but like no, like I watched them. They organized it as a dark web feed, like a private feed on Twitter. I was an FBI informant for years in Atlanta, living next to him. Um, Trump organized and participated in basically what was a fascist coup. There were a lot of neo Nazis at the Capitol on January 6th, and I
Okay,
talked
I don't, I, so I'm
about.
actually, I've got to pause you. I got to pause you. This is very important.
Okay,
I don't think this is going to be a fruitful path for us to continue down. It's not going to be useful in our
we
interaction.
don't want
Okay.
to argue.
I have a very, I'm just going to say, I want to just be upfront with you. I'm going to be honest and upfront with you. I care about you. I'd like to help you, but I want to just let you know we're on two very, very different perceptions of reality here. Very, very different perceptions of reality. And it's not going to be fruitful for this and this line of thought. That's all I'll say. I don't want to get into debates or arguing or different. I don't because that's not going to be a productive use of our time. I just want you to know that we're on very, very, very different perceptions of reality, and it's not going to be fruitful to go down this. So I suggest we veer onto a course that's going to be useful for you,
Okay,
productive for you, where you want to go. If, and I'll just want to get to the bottom line here. If your panic attacks are better or somewhat better, and you're more in a better state of functioning than you were when you spoke with me a week ago, uh, and you have a therapist, so you have somebody that you are utilizing at this point that can give you guidance on a psychological level. That's good. And I recommend that you move forward in the practical sphere. I recommend that you start moving forward in practical sphere with the things that you need to be doing with making money or doing the things in your life that are going to move you forward. Okay. But debating or arguing with me about these things, it's not going to be productive. I can just tell you,
lawsuits
it's
or
not going to work.
InfoWars or anything like that is
Yeah,
not.
yeah. So we're
I
definitely
still
on
love Billy Corgan
different
and
things.
the Smashing Pumpkins, but he's a fan of InfoWars, so I
Are
probably
you
would.
familiar? You're obviously familiar with the term Trump derangement syndrome, right? You are not
No,
familiar
I've
with
never heard
that
that
term.
before, actually. What does that mean?
You've never heard the term Trump derangement syndrome? Oh my
No,
God, that
I might be very well like versed in what you say it means.
okay,
It
okay. Well,
sounds
I'll
incredibly
give you okay, okay,
okay.
okay. I'll just give you a very brief description, just for the record. You'll have it on the recording of our Fathom, so you'll have it. Okay. Over the course of the last 8 to 10 years, approximately, again, just a rough approximation, there has been, again, this is factual, this is not an opinion, there has been a continual onslaught from the media and from very many other different sources of such intense hate and criticism of Trump that it's had an effect on people, on everyday people, where large numbers of the population uh, uh, um, uh, obtained what is generally referred to today as TDS, or Trump derangement syndrome, which is basically a belief system, an intense emotional reaction and belief system that it's Trump is to blame, Trump's to blame, he's the worst person ever to live, he's the worst this, he's the worst that.
And they
Blame,
take it
blame, blame, blame.
personally and
Non-stop blame. If there's a problem in the world, it's due to Trump. No matter what happens, it's Trump's fault. And that is called Trump derangement syndrome. Now, if you track this in any sort of public discourse today, not just politically, but in very different circles, it becomes fairly clear who is afflicted. I use the word afflicted as if it's a malady, because it is kind of like when somebody becomes overwhelmed with some particular thing that they become obsessed with, or that they can't break out of, like a cult or something overwhelming. And it is fairly obvious, and it's a very known thing. This is not theory, superstition, conspiracy theories. It's an established reality. It's quite surprising to me that you've never heard the term Trump derangement syndrome, because it's
I don't listen to the right side
that,
of media.
well,
I don't even listen to
it
CNN
doesn't
anymore.
even matter who you listen to.
People around me have told me don't even listen to the news right
And it
now.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
Even
matter.
podcasts, you know, whatever.
All I'm saying to you is where I stand in the matter, just so that you are 100% clear. I'm a patriot. I love this country. I love President Trump. I love everything he's doing for our country, for the world. I feel I know the man. I feel I connect with the man. I know what he stands for in his heart and soul. I know his personality is very abrasive to many people. People don't get him. People hate him for a variety of different reasons. I don't really care. I think that he is literally the greatest thing that's ever happened to the United States of America. And I also believe history will record that he literally saved this country from Marxism. Because if it wasn't for all the things he has done and is doing right now, we would be downgrading very fast, very fast, very fast to a Marxism, to a Marxist government. The Democratic Party is Marxist. There is no question whatsoever in my mind. You can analyze it from every angle. You can look at the Karl Marx playbook, the color revolution system. It's been done in many, many countries all through history, and it's standard. And we are still in danger, in my opinion. We are still in danger of that happening, but we're fighting tooth and nail to hold firm on what America is, what it stands for, and what it will be. And everything Trump is doing in his entire administration and his entire life is to preserve the republic. That's my viewpoint.
Well, Father
I
was
don't, I
born
don't
in
make apologies for it. It's where I'm at. It's a personal statement. And you, if that rubs you the wrong way or upsets you in any way, or you feel that
I
your
just
views
kind
are
of wanted to
incompatible with mine, that's fine. I'm just want to be upfront about that.
just as a respectful kind of thing, I'm not going to ask you the deepest of this. I know my personal life experiences. I know what I've been through, and
Good.
my cousin married one of Trump's sons through a mistress in 2013. His name was McDonald Provosti, or is the name he has on his ID is McDonald Provosti. I don't know which one of his mistresses it came from. It's not blonde hair and blue eyes. It's red hair and blue eyes. I've been around this like circle of people, like in person,
Good.
and for a very, very long time.
Good.
Um, and I haven't like been offered Mai Tais and a ride on a yacht or anything. That's not what they're like. And even if it were, I probably have too much just like, you know, spunk. I don't know if it's intelligence is probably not the only reason. I know there are some people on the right wing who are very smart too. Um, you're not going to understand quite what I'm going through the way that maybe you should. Like how it's not okay that like this son of a bitch thinks he can rape me or something like that, or it's not okay that
The
like
person you are referring to is this individual.
Anthony Rico Wright is his legal name. He's one of
Okay,
the
and I asked you before a couple of times
yeah.
just to understand if you are communicating with this man, and I still don't feel I've gotten a clear answer to the question, because when you first described him to me, I think it was last week or the week before, it was literally like you were in physical danger. He was literally could attack you at any time. He knew where you lived. He was out to get you, whatever
And
it is.
maybe it's because I've been going to that black church, and maybe the Lord kind
I
of
don't
just
know. I don't know. All I'm trying to,
like
I
some
am,
the
I am
guardian
simply,
angel, you know, like I have a guardian angel. Okay, like
I'm trying
some
to
things are looking
determine
out
if,
for
if,
me like that you can't touch in your physical life. You can't see it right in front of your face, you know, like that sort of thing that touches your
right,
life.
right. Right,
and
right, right.
something is watching after me and helping me through this last week,
Good.
especially after I talked to you, Neptune, Pisces 12, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Some people are starting to reveal themselves to me as they actually are.
Good.
And kind of just giving me that out, which is like, just get away while you can. I don't want to go with him, all the way to hell. I just like, life is unfair. Like, that's the
Yeah,
common thing.
the question,
Even when you
Maxie,
go to
Maxie,
like talk
Maxie,
to a
Maxie.
professor
The
at
question
university,
I'm
they
trying
have
to determine, give me a moment, please.
they're not there for
Try
the
to
right reason.
determine if you're in physical danger. If you feel you're in physical danger, you need to do something to address that.
I'm
If you
making
know,
new friends and I'm staying at the women's shelter.
good, okay.
Like,
If
this
you
is
know,
like,
right, okay, good. If you
none of
know,
the books you did this is fucking crazy. You won't understand half this stuff. Like, I'm gonna write a nonfiction book about it, and I just hope.
okay, look, can we just go through a very simple questions I have here to stay focused, to stay focused. If you're not, no, if you don't feel right now where you're staying, the shelter, etc., that you are in physical danger and you feel
I'm
that
not in a good situation. It's not a good place to live. It's not a
I
fantastic place
know,
to
but
live.
that's not my question though.
No, I'm
Please
not in
stay with
physical
me.
danger. He's not going to be able to attack me by the time I can go back to sleep.
If this man, if there is still a danger from this man,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I'm only just giving you an opinion here. You need to address physical danger before you address your bank account. Once you've addressed your physical danger and you feel like you've improved that to a point where you can function, where you're basically functional, then you move on in life to the next step. If you need emotional help, psychological help, again, you have a therapist who I'm assuming that you're working with and you can rely on. You also have a women's shelter where you're staying, and hopefully there's some friends there, socially people that can help you. I've given
The
you
way
some
you're
as
saying
I've
that
given
almost comes off to me as a more sophisticated, like, maybe even like Ivy League version of like where he's at, which is just telling you to shut the fuck up and not talk about what you've been through.
no,
That
no,
that
but I no, Maxie, I want our time to be productive.
yeah.
And what I mean by productive is following the priorities that are there. The priorities. We all in all life situations, there are priorities.
Well,
Things that are urgent, critical, and then important but not urgent. You go down the list of your priorities. If your physical situation is improved and you feel better, let's move on to the next priority. What is your next priority? If it's emotional, psychological, well, I can give you insights, I give you suggestions, and I can give you astrological um, feedback, whether from astro dice or from your birth chart or your transits. But I'm not going to be like another therapist to you. I can be like a friend, but I am a practical guy. I'm a practical guy. So I'm going to work with the priorities. What is the next priority for you? We don't need to get into intellectual
let me just ask you
discourses,
another
any of
question.
them.
Last week you told me
Yeah.
I gave
Tell me
you
your next.
rolled the dice for me and you told me what you thought it had meant, which was a
Right,
possible.
exactly. So what's the next priority for you?
Okay, it's
That's what I
something that
want
I've
to know.
worked through like for years and years, and it's been over a decade, which I get what I'm going through as a function of who did it. I get that they have the power to do that. I get that I've been through this because of who it
Okay.
was.
Okay.
Why me? What do you have
Okay.
to say about that? Like, why did he pick me? Like, what was that about?
Can I
Like,
can I
I don't
respond?
get it.
Can I
You're not giving
respond?
answers from like, no,
Can,
because you're a psychic and stuff. Like,
can I respond to that?
sure.
Okay, good. But I want you to give me a little space to say a few words, not
Okay,
interrupt
I'll
me.
stay
Let me
silent.
speak.
Like,
Okay.
just explain it.
My my viewpoint is I ask a slightly different question than the question you're asking, because the question you're asking lives in a context. All questions live in a context, in a frame. Okay. Now, what my question is a little bit different, and my question is, what is the spiritual basis of what is happening to you and with you? What is the spiritual meaning, purpose, and and significance of what is happening and what is the resolution. That's a key word. What's the
And not only
resolution
that,
of
but
that
also
issue?
what is the reason for some of this? Like, what is he hoping to accomplish by doing
No,
some of this?
that's a different question. Maxie, that's a different question. And it lives in a different context. Do you see the difference in the context between how you're formulating the question and how I am? There's a
Yeah.
distinct difference in the way the question is being worded. Okay?
There's a
Because
way in the way they want you to say it. It's
no,
not,
no,
it's
no,
just
no,
how
no,
you
no,
walk
no,
through
no,
the
no,
it
no,
makes a
no,
difference
no. No,
way.
when you word, okay,
Right.
Maxie, when you word the question in your manner, there is an implicit assumption in that wording. Do you know, can you see the assumption in the wording of your question? Can you see it? If not, I'll be happy to share it with you.
Okay, then share with me. Like, by
Okay.
all means, I'll be interested.
Okay, but please listen though, and please don't interrupt me, just listen.
Okay.
The implicit assumption in the way you're wording the question is that you are a victim, that you're not a victim. You're a participant in this drama. It's a drama, it's a game, it's a spiritual, it's monumental thing, and you are an active participant in this. There are no victims in the universe. We create our reality. We can pretend we're a victim. We can make up a story we're a victim, and we can convince ourselves that we're a victim. And it's all happening to us. And it's all unfair. And it's all horrible. And how come it's all happening to me? And why is he attacking me? And all that. That's victim, victim, victim. I don't live in that space. I live in the space of co-creating. Spiritually, we co-create. No one is a victim unless we pretend we are. But the pretend that I'm a victim
Are
lives
you
in
suggesting
another
that you
domain. Pretending you're a victim or convincing yourself that you are a victim
are
is
you
part
suggesting
of the
that I didn't
game.
have non-consensual sex with that man?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
You
so
won't answer. You won't
when
answer.
I will answer you. I will answer, but you need to be willing to listen. In one context, let's listen. In one context, rape is a situation where someone is the attacker or the perpetrator of a crime, and the other person, typically the woman, is the victim of the crime. So in that
Like,
frame,
look, I'm like a
just
detective,
listen,
and
please,
I look for
please
the
just
something that
listen.
goes in this
In
question.
in that in that context, there is the perpetrator of a crime and the victim of a crime, but that lives in a context. It lives in a legal context and a moral context and an emotional context. Those are all familiar, familiar and common frames for that experience. Now, the question that I want to ask you, or what I'm encouraging you to go up to, is to enlarge your context, your frame, to not look at it only from the standpoint of, I'm a victim of rape. He raped me, therefore I'm the victim. That's a context. And you know what? That will not advance you spiritually, because in that context, you will then be permanently a victim. And victims have no power by definition. They have no power. They're powerless. If you want to remain powerless in life in general, you cannot function in a victim space. If you convince yourself you're a victim, and in that context, you are a victim, and the law says you're a victim, the law agrees with you. The law agrees with you. You're a
The law
victim.
won't do anything
It
to Elon
doesn't
Musk.
matter though. But if you, for you to advance spiritually, Maxie, you'll need to enlarge your context. What do I mean by enlarge your context?
Does that mean that what he did
It,
is okay?
what it means is, in my opinion, what it means is enlarging your sense of responsibility, that you create your own reality, that you are not a victim, that you create your reality in ways that you don't always consciously know, but you're still responsible for the reality that you go through. Now, this is admittedly for some people such a radical departure from the frame in which most people look at situations, but it's ultimately a very empowering shift in context, because when you take ownership of your life and what happens in it, now you have power to change it. You don't have any power to change it as a victim. You don't. So this is where I'm encouraging you to go out of that box, out of that container. And in fact, astrology and the Astrodites are vehicles in a sense. They are in fact tools and vehicles of that one single thing to break you free from that perception of reality, from that belief system to a larger context of understanding. And even your therapist. Now, your therapist, of course, is trained in a psychological system of counseling
Who paid you to do
where
that?
they will very, very frequently continue reinforcing the idea that you're the victim, that you are always a victim, because it's built into that belief system
And
of
it's somehow my
psychology.
fault that he targeted me.
But there are good therapists, and there are therapists that know that they're more savvy, they're more expanded in their viewpoints, they're more spiritually aware, and they do not reinforce the notion of victimhood. They teach you how to become
Yeah,
responsible.
and that philosophy is why 1 in 3 women in the USA, North America, Earth have been raped. It's a staggering statistic, but that's the rape culture that we're in.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And
See,
that
I
kind of
know.
attitude is just going to enable little shit wipes like little X Musk and whoever else
Can
who
I let
don't
me ask you let me ask
it's
you
going to enable them to continue to do that
let
stuff.
me ask you a question about the
They're just,
shelter.
screwed up in their head, and they think they can just take advantage of anyone because they have power. The
Well,
women that they touch, the women that they do that to that one night, in the French Quarter, who thought that a sandwich was a sandwich and didn't have a roofie in it, and he goes, "And you're not gonna remember what he does to you." That woman's life is never going to be the same, and it's gonna be shortened greatly, and it's going to take a lot from her.
so let me be
Just because
clear.
he wanted to do that one night because he could.
Yeah, well, let me be clear to you. There are people in the world who are very evil people. They're very harmful people. They're very destructive. They are psychopaths, or people who have no ability to feel any remorse, to feel any
Yeah,
feeling,
on
to
paper,
feel
but
any
there's also a
caring
lot
of
more
other
to
human
it.
beings. And
There's a
there
lot
are
of
people,
people who go
and
find
the
that
people who occupy
ignorant of the system.
they occupy a space of, like you say, exactly what you say. They occupy the space of, I'm invincible. I can do whatever I want. I can harm anybody I want. Can kill anybody I want. I'm
Yeah,
invincible. No one's gonna convict me of any crime.
there's
I'm immune
also another narcissist
because
like
of all the power I have, and blah 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 blah. I'm not. I agree with all of that. There are people who can. I mean, it happens at all levels of society. It happens in the academic world. It happens in the political world. It happens in business, the business in the corporate world. It happens
And this
everywhere.
is why I
But
love Asian culture, right? This
well,
is
right,
not really this
but
stuff doesn't happen in Asian culture that way. Okay, be like, like
but
in the
there are
US,
different versions. There are
white
different
men are like,
versions of it. It's not that there aren't people who are power hungry, egotistical, psychopathic, power hungry people in Asian country. There are. It just takes a different form. It's a different version and a different form. There aren't. It's not like
this is
everyone
much
in
more
Asian culture
palatable
is
to most
goody goody.
people and doesn't offend most women the way it would be if you had been raped the way I
All
was.
right, but the key question here, though, the key question is how you are going to deal with your own victimhood, or your own power, or reclaiming. I guess a good
I'd
phrase
like to
would
be
be
more powerful. I understand. I
reclaiming.
don't want to identify as being a victim, but he did victimize me. I've
Well,
been
yes, and yes,
to
right.
suggest that
And
not being a victim somehow evaporates what he did to me is not okay either.
I understand that, all that,
It is horrible.
and I
I
encourage.
want to become
Let
stronger.
me respond to you. I encourage you to pursue all legal avenues, all avenues that are available to you in our world, to get justice, to get whatever it is that needs to be done in that particular realm. But I will tell you this, though, even if he was arrested, assuming that You say he's above the law, that nobody can prosecute him because he's got too much power. He knows people, blah, blah,
Elon Musk,
blah.
Trump
All this
Hunter,
stuff, whatever that is, that I've heard that story 1,000 times, and
and
it's
it, you know, I'll
and it's
crack for
absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I don't
sure.
argue with any of it, but the question still remains: how is this going to affect you and your future? So let's pretend for a moment that he wasn't above the law, that he could be arrested, that he could be indicted, that he could be convicted,
If
that he
we
does go
were
to
a black
jail.
man, or let me just say this because I know this like seems a lot like Fox News to me. If he were a nigger in Chicago, and I don't like that word, but I'll say it. If he were a nigger in Chicago, he'd be in jail by now. It wouldn't be an issue. Like
Exactly. I
talking
know
about
I'm with you on that, but it still
you
leaves a
know, like
question. But Maxie, it still leaves a question because the question still remains: if he were in jail, if he was convicted of rape and he was sentenced to 20 years in jail, whatever the prison sentence is, it still leaves the question of where are you in your in emotional spiritual space, and how are you going to be able to heal emotionally, spiritually, heal and move on with your life to where you really want to go and do the things that you came, why you came to this planet, why you're here. You know that that's my stand. That's my line in the
myself
sand.
with your, I think
That's what
I'm ready to
matters
come
is
here.
you living a fabulous life, loving yourself, loving life, creating life the way you want to, doing what you came here, using your gifts. That's what matters for you and your future. That's what matters. But staying in the victim space for the next 10, 20 years just because reliving it, blaming, reliving it, and that doesn't further you. It
You want
doesn't
to know why I'm
empower
still here?
you.
Let me just tell you my spirit
Yeah, go
guiding
ahead.
principle.
Tell me, sure.
I'm
Yeah.
from here because this is my planet. I'm from here.
Okay, good. All right, good. Okay.
Go elsewhere, I choose not to do it because this is where I'm from.
Okay, good. So
I
now
don't have
what's next then? So tell me how you're
to.
going to move forward.
I'm going to write a book. I proved a famous math conjecture recently. I haven't gotten it published yet.
Yeah, you mentioned that last time. That's fantastic. I'd love to see it.
You want me to send you a copy of it?
Yeah,
What you want? You want it or you want an
send me
email?
a copy if you want to. You can send me a copy.
Email or LinkedIn?
What?
Email or LinkedIn? What do you want a copy of it?
Email
Email.
is bad.
All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Okay.
I don't think I have your email. I've got
Howard
your
at
phone
Howard
number,
at
LinkedIn. I don't have your email. What is your email?
Howard at lifecraftingprogram.com.
Can you put that into the chat?
I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat for you. Yeah, absolutely. You see,
All
I'm
right. This is
interested.
going to change and it's going to get under review. So some people will do some stuff. But I've known for like, like 5 years I could prove this problem. I just didn't quite
That's fine. That's fine.
really
That's fine.
detect it
Let's
until
move on. Let's
recently.
move on. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
We
let me send you that email before I forget because I
Okay,
have
okay, okay. Very good, very
like
good, very good.
four
I
private
I'm
meetings.
interested. I'm a practical guy. I like to focus on practical things, on real down to earth things, like you being able to have a steady income, whatever the source may be, and pay your bills and feel good financially where you are in your life, and then move forward with the with your ideal path, with the
Mhm.
things that we identified from your quiz. That's what matters to me. Those are the areas where I can be of help to you, where I can support you. Even if you're starting from the smallest little baby step, I don't really care. All that matters is the direction you're moving in, not what
Oh,
step,
hold on.
not what
It's cutting
step
you
you're
off.
up to.
It's cutting. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna log off and then I'm gonna get back in. I can't.
Okay, restart. Okay, okay.
Okay, okay, I can hear you again. Like, I changed tabs, I'm doing a Zoom in my browser. Like, I noticed how agitated, like, genuinely, like, and emotionally agitated you seem to be about this. And this is one of these things that I'm facing, which is that a lot of people in this country kind of seem to, like, I'm just gonna call it Trump. I'm not sure if that's Trump or, like, ideology or something somewhat deeper, which is you seem to sympathize and empathize with Trump in a way that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand
Beck,
why you
let Maxie, let me repeat this again. I am interested in you and in supporting you in your life in terms of your needs, your goals in the present and future. We can deviate, we can differ in our political views, values, and I can assure you that no matter what differences those will be,
so maybe you're one of the people
I
who
am willing, but you keep interrupting. So let me
care.
finish my sentence. I want to focus with you on you and now in the future what you're doing. I really don't care about in this context, I don't care about political ideologies or differences in viewpoint. I don't care. I really don't. I only care time, about our time being productive and useful. That's all I care about. I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot of projects. I've got a lot of tasks to do, other people to see.
And I don't wanna argue with
If
you
we
either.
can stay,
I
if we can stay productive and focused on what the priorities are right now, then I can help you. If you want to veer off the priorities and go into other conversations,
but maybe
philosophies,
it's just part of the
it's not going to be use. It's not a productive use of my time now. I don't want to debate anything with you.
it
Doesn't
would be
matter.
easy to go off based on what you told me, like, on any other path but that. I felt like what you gave me last week was very helpful for me
Good,
spiritually.
good.
Um, there are easy ways for us to just sit there and quibble, like, over, Fox News or Trump or whatever. That's not either what I want to do, and I don't really get off on arguing with people,
Okay,
like,
good. Well, good. Then let's say
I don't get
focus.
anything
What's
out
your
of,
net, Maxie? Okay.
disagree. I wanna go back to last week.
What? Okay, good. Go ahead. Go back to net last week. Go
I
ahead.
wanna go back to last week. So next time we meet, we're gonna try to go back to last week and the positive things you said and how that's going to help me moving forward, and going to try not to touch on Trump or the craziness
Okay,
that's
so
going on right
let
now.
me stop you there.
With the
So
United States,
Maxie, I've got to stop you. I'm not offering you continuous weekly sessions. I'm weekly free sessions. If you want to buy my time, you want to buy a consulting or coaching time, that's fine. But I'm not going to just keep meeting you just whatever. I mean, we could be friends, and if you want to come to California and hang out and have coffee or whatever, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But we need to have a clear agreement and boundaries of our time and what the time is used for. It's simple. It's any professional relationship. It's not different from any other professional relationship. Okay. So yeah,
So you also won't say who put you up to doing it. Who put you up to being
put
in
me
touch with
up, put me up to do what?
me? Who told you to get in touch with me? Who put you up to doing it? Who paid you to get in touch with me?
Oh,
Like,
no
it
one
doesn't
paid.
make sense just talking.
No one paid me anything. Let me clarify. If you're unclear about my motivations, I will tell you exactly what they are. Now, you may not believe them or accept them. That's of course in your camp, but I will tell you the
Mhm.
motivation. Do you want to know?
Semantics. Yeah, I do wanna know.
Okay, so I reach out to people, myself and my team, all of us. We reach out to people on social media we feel that we can help them in whether they're in a career life transition coming out of a corporate job and there are changes that they want to make in their life, whether short-term changes to increase their income level or long-term changes in terms of their path in life. That's one grouping. And then the other grouping are coaches and healers who need help with business, predominantly with business matters. And we reach out to people we feel that
You
we can
tell them what
help.
they wanna hear in the short term and
Well,
then
but
expect them to
you're not
yeah.
letting me finish. I still have more to say. So please just listen to me. All right. Please just listen. We reach
Like,
out
when
to those
someone
people.
intelligence
We
like that,
don't
that's
have
kind of like the problem when it's
we
met.
we don't have
That's
any
what they discount
crys-
as my
we
intelligence.
don't have any crystal ball. We don't have a crystal ball to know whether we're going to be able to help somebody or not. But we look for certain things and certain basic things. Then once we meet, we see if it's true, if we can help them, and then we have a formula. We have essentially a recipe. Let's call it a recipe. What is our recipe? Our recipe is to use community networking, strategic partnerships, which I shared with you in our very first meeting, to begin to help you build your network in a productive way with the people that are important for you to know. That's what we do. If we did only that one thing, and you were active in our group and you were interacting and meeting new people and moving along on your path, then we would be, I would
If I
feel
were in Silicon
100%
Valley raping women, getting like
successful.
$100,000 a night, like on a club or something like that, you would think that I'm great, like just like Trump on Warren Buffett shot raping a 14-year-old.
I'm not
No,
even
no, no. I just want to say two things before we hang up. Like, let me have my piece. You
sure,
know,
sure, yeah.
maybe
Go
maybe
ahead, absolutely. Go for it,
that.
go for it. But
The other
I've
person
answered your
that
question, at
LinkedIn
least,
post
right?
that prompted you to contact me. You gave me a LinkedIn connection from that one post, which is frustration over Workday, which is an
Yeah,
issue.
good. Okay,
But it's not really. It doesn't seem to be your agenda. Was also X Musk, someone who also has a connection with me on LinkedIn under a different, like, assumed name.
okay,
Okay,
okay, oh,
so
okay,
that's a connection. The
okay,
other thing is, I was really, really close friends with Kevin Mitnick, and I'm really, really close friends with some people who are top-notch hackers who want to see how I'm doing and have been through this themselves or witnessed a lot of stuff through that. And Kevin
okay,
was taking a lot of home video of what little X was doing to me in Atlanta, and he let me know in his own way, in ways that we've communicated, that he's doing it. And
good,
little X wouldn't have known his ass from his ears, right?
okay,
So just watch your back. We're gonna get you guys
okay,
back. I don't think we
okay,
need to meet again. Okay. All right.
good.
Have a good one. I don't miss you harm personally, but fuck you.